We will get going. And for those of you watching, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate not only your support of the organization, but your interest in what we're up to. Everything from what happens in the United States, our operations there, but it's really where the work happens. We're in Kenya. We're in Kenya today. I was actually flying all night to get here. Got here this morning. I got a little bit of rest, but I'm glad I have Harliet with me because she's gonna do most of the talking. She's gonna be sharing all the interesting stuff and really helping carry the conversation. But it is special to be here. I'm going to share a little bit more a little bit later about this space that you see around us, behind us. This is very special, a special new development that, again, we'll share a little bit more about. But before we get to that, more broadly, talking about Kenya, talking about Nairobi, again, that's where we are. And it is a special place. It goes all the way back to the beginning, the founding story of Because International. All those years ago when my buddy Kenson spent some time traveling, working, helping out in the Nairobi area, the inspiration for the shoe. And then from there, the developments over the years, meeting people, making connections, making the shoe a reality, eventually shoes here. And then in the last couple of years, how things have taken off at a pace that we've really, never seen before. And we'll get into some of those details. So again, previewing some of those things that I want to cover as I bring Harliet in, ask for some questions. But again, special to be here again and to be able to share some of these details with all of you. So with that, I'm going to introduce or allow Harliet to introduce herself a little bit. And as I said before, people love hearing other people's stories. That's what this is all about. Facts and figures and details, those are all fun, but at the end of the day, stories is what's most interesting. So to start, tell us about you. Tell us about, well, whatever you want to share.
Whatever I want to share. Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot to tell. So, Harliet Njenga, manager, Kenyan Programs Manager, as of beginning of March 2026, leading the Kenya team and leading the Kenya team in terms of ensuring that the shoes get to the kids. That's what I'm doing right now. But if we are able to track it back 10, 11 years, it's my whole life started from a volunteer perspective in a community-based organization setup, which is, I look at it as a 360 degrees kind of scenario, because I started my first volunteer work at a community-based organization. And right now, the community-based organizations are the ones we're working with, and they're the ones who are enabling us get the shoes to the kids across the country. And in some scenarios, we're having scenarios where we are trying to figure out how can the shoes get to Uganda, a neighboring country. So that's where my journey began. Mm. My background is definitely not related to shoes. My background before I even joined Because was in marketing and sales. So I have a degree in public relations, a minor in marketing. I have done quite a number of years, I think 7, 8, close to 9 years, 8 years in marketing and sales. So I have been in real estate. I have been in architectural marketing. I have been in software. I have just been everywhere. Bottom line is sales. So doing this shift to shoes has been quite interesting, but in a good way. But in a very, very good way. So how did I end up here? I think that's what we all want to know. How did I end up here? So in 2021, that was my last employment gig. I started an organization called Think Opal. So I was supporting and working with social enterprises. As most of you know, there's a lot of work that we have done over the years with social enterprises. So that is one of the main things that I joined Because to do. But of course, just like anything else, you need to shift with the times. And shifting with the times means that if something is not working as it should work, you need to focus on something that's working. as it should work. I don't know that that makes sense. Yeah. But yes. So now that's how I've ended up in shoes. And so far, so good. It's just been a few weeks, few months, and it's been exciting. It's been a learning curve. We'll talk about more of that because it has everything related to this space. It has everything related to system, structure, control, and everything in between. So that's my story. On the sideline, I'm a mom to a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old. She's actually turning 2 years, 6 months in a few days. I'd forgotten about that. I'm married, definitely. I am a second born in a family of 4, girls only. I was not born and raised in Nairobi. I was born and raised in a small town in Embu. That's Embu town. That's in the eastern central side of Kenya. That's around 130 kilometers from here. So learned my primary school and high school on that side. What brought me to this other side is university education. And once I came to this side is my agenda was not to go back home, to ensure that I make a life of myself in the capital. So yes. So that's a bit story. Yeah, that's the story. That's Harliet's story.
All right. Yes. And we were just talking about some of the parallels because not many people grow up thinking, I love shoes. Like now there are some there. I have heard some stories like people working for traditional shoe companies. Mm-hmm. But this journey that you've been on, and now to be working in shoes, and some of the parallels, I was going to say, from my own story, starting in software, and my connection point was through Kenton, and his story and this journey that has been Because International. But now I work in shoes, and it's very and I've got again my own thoughts and feelings and why that excites me. But as you think about what we're doing in particular with shoes, tell me about what you think about it, what's special about it, why you like it, assuming you do like it. I think you like it.
Okay. All right. Of course I do like it. So why shoes? Like I said, sales and marketing. So we all know sales and marketing is brutal. It's brutal. It's high energy. It's high pressure. It's everything in between. And to be honest, you can only sustain it for a couple of years. And then with time, you sort of need to shift to something that is more intentional and more purposeful. Because in my actual previous career, what I studied, it's more about stakeholders, profits, margins, undercutting. So you're selling a product. Deep down, you know this product is not the best of the best, but because your job is to sell, you sell it, unfortunately. So now that's where the shift of impact, and that's why I shifted first to social enterprises and now in the shoe side, is when you're able to see what that one pair of shoe does to a child's life and to a family. I think for me that's game changing, and it's something you can't get in the business side of things. And for me that's technically my why. Just ensuring that in everything that I'm doing, over and above just being self-centered with my family and my loved ones, is even in the work that I do, I can be able to sit down and say I'm having impact. Yeah. Despite all the logistics and the technicalities that go behind ensuring the kids get the shoes, at the end of the day, it's the smile, it's the stories, and it's the wonderful thank you that we get from the kids. Okay. Yeah, that's life-changing. Yeah. Like a kid holds your hands and say, thank you. Now, of course, in Swahili, they'll say asante sana. Right. From the bottom of their heart. I think for me, that's because I mean, so often a child or anyone is receiving something, they're going to be grateful. They're going to say thank you. But at the same time, you do notice those moments where like it is coming just sincerely from the bottom of their heart. Yes. Because of how thankful they are and just what a pair of shoes can mean to them. Those are those special moments. So majority of time you sort of have balancing tears and you're like, yes. Yeah. Now, a lot of our support, at least our supporters that go back a number of years, have heard at least parts of Jata's story. He's another member of our team here in Nairobi, and some of his experience growing up and his, I guess, personal experience with not always having enough, not always having what he needed. I wonder, up until you started, well, first of all, just becoming familiar with the work we're doing and now involved in it.
has it changed your perspective on a pair of shoes? Did you know growing up, like some of the need and some of the lack that a lot of kids have, whether or not you personally experienced that, or how has your perspective shifted on the need for shoes?
So in with the millennials, and of course this is the born late 1980s all the way to I think 96, is our parents constantly told us, do you know we're going to school without shoes? And because we sort of don't see it as a big deal, we assumed everyone would have. It's normal. And even in times where you don't see people with shoes, just because you resonate with the parent story, you don't see it as a big deal, right? Right. Until now you get into environment, so that is back home. Now, until you come to the capital, and then you're wondering, okay, dressing up and actually having good attire is sort of right? And it's not okay not to walk around without proper shoes, because there's having shoes and there's having proper shoes that are not torn and don't have and a child can be able to walk with it confidently. So those are two different scenarios. From my perspective, growing up, yes, the stories were there. We could see it. Sometimes you could experience it. Not that you don't have shoes, but you don't have proper shoes. Where, again, walking barefoot was okay. But yes, you have the slippers or the flip-flops, as maybe you guys call it. But it was our day-to-day. But now you get into this setup, you realize the ripple effect of not having a shoe or a proper shoe, what it does to the child's nutrition, what it does to the child's esteem, what it actually affects their attendance to school, it actually affects how they're able to maneuver in their day-to-day. So for me, that was sort of mind-blowing. And even in our day-to-day communication, when you're doing training and onboarding to our partners, it usually comes as I have actually never thought about it from that perspective. And for me, that is justification and sort of puts a stamp of approval on the work that we're actually creating change in ways that many people have not thought about. Yes.
Seeing it and knowing that story, those individual stories of those children who, again, maybe didn't have shoes, maybe had a pair of shoes but wasn't adequate, but not really understanding the gravity, the importance of all of that until you got into the work, learning from partners, learning about the individual stories of these children and the effects that it had, making kind of that simpler version that you were aware of, understanding the depth of that, why all that mattered. That definitely makes sense. Well, let's transition and talk a little bit about this space that we're in. That I think is special. You can see some boxes around us, but otherwise it's a little bit empty. But there's a reason for that. Where are we, and what does this space mean to you for the future of Because here in Nairobi?
I think it means everything. It means a lot. First, we're in Nairobi County. We are right on Mombasa Road. Opposite us, on the other side of the expressway, is the international airport. So hopefully you'll be able, when you're flying in, either for holidays, just alert us and feel free to pass by the office. I would say tea, because that's our common, but coffee would also work.
This is the first time anyone's been able to do that. This is like the first official office. We've been very scrappy in terms of how we've operated in the country here, but this is the first official office of Because International.
Exactly. This is the first official office of Because International. And I would say, number one, the choice of location was extremely strategic, because number one, as you all know, majority of all our consignment comes from Mombasa, and we are on Mombasa Road. So this enables, it's like a quick transitioning point, number one, not only for us receiving the consignment, also for our partners to pick the goods. Are fairly well interconnected. We have the expressway and we have the main highway. So it's sort of a central location to serve not only just our own benefit, but also the benefit of our partners. And most importantly is, just like Andrew said, it's been always, we are taking the shoes to our partners' locations. So as late as last week, we had a partner on Friday, we had two partners coming in and picking the shoes from this location. So that's that was amazing. That was amazing. So yes, so we are looking forward to maximizing the space in terms of we are able to get requests for more inventory from the factory. So as we speak right now, we have space for a lot more shoes. So the more shoes we get, the better, because sometimes we'll have challenges of requesting for more shoes when the current consignment we have is not completely depleted. So challenge number one, at least if the factory tells us they have 20,000 shoes for us now, we are guaranteed that we have space for them.
Right.
We have an efficient way of monitoring.
Yeah.
At least we can be able to see each and every pair get out.
Yeah.
Through streamlining our whole process of the logistics system and inventory system. We are hoping to get more desks and chairs, and hopefully our training and onboarding for partners will be able to do it on this location. So instead of doing the virtual, in the African setting, we really love this one. We try to run away from the virtual. So this will also enable us to do that. And it also enable our partners to experience the shoes before they get on board. Because normally what has been happening is we talk about the shoes virtually, especially if they're not within our jurisdiction, and they tend to sort of have first-hand experience once they get on ground. So this will sort out a lot. Over and above everything, it will give us a lot of control. It will make decision-making easier between this Kenyan office and the US office, and it will increase the level of collaboration between the two locations. So yeah, super exciting.
Yeah, you touched on, again, some of the logistics, but here in Nairobi, it's going to, the center part of the country, often Mombasa on the east, on the coast, we produce all the shoes, and we're producing now at about 20,000 pairs per month. And sometimes those pairs go directly to other counties, other areas where we're distributing with partners. But in other cases, we do need a central point to store the shoes before then sending them out to various locations. And that gives us the opportunity here. And then, like you said, we have some partners that want to come here and pick up the shoes, or to see the shoes, or meet with the team. So it also is going to allow us to expand the team as we need to over time. But then let's talk about, because again, we make the shoes in Mombasa. We've got the central location here in Nairobi. And then we've got a lot of work that's happening in Western Kenya. Give us an update on the shoe distributions themselves, the partnerships, what you're excited about, what you might be frustrated about, what our challenges, our bottlenecks might be.
That's a very good question. So I'll talk about. Let me start talking about the amazing work they're doing in Busia County. So we have one major partner in there are two sides of Busia. So there's Busia County, Busia Town, and there's Malaba side, which again is different, but we have two partners. So I'll talk
about Western Kenya. It's all like Victoria by the Uganda border.
Yes. So Uganda, that's the Uganda border. So it's a main transit point for goods that come from Mombasa all the way to the other landlocked countries. So it's a major town, it's a major hub. But the assumption might come from a perspective of the fact that the county and the town itself is a major transit town. One would assume it will leverage a lot on the economic activity. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So Busia tends to rank as one of the poorest counties out of the 47 counties we have in Kenya. And for some scenarios, if we just look at it from a high level perspective, it can be by design. You can look at it from a political perspective, but let's look at it from a high level. Just by the way it's been designed, it's just extremely, the poverty levels are extremely low. All right. So it was a strategic location for us to start the county by county approach that we started last year. And by sheer luck, we got connected to an amazing partner, that's Moja. As we speak right now, as of last week, I think we had hit 40,000 pairs and above in terms of distribution since we started our partnership with them. And it's been amazing. They are a community-based organization. And the reason that they are the ideal partner and they became the ideal partner is because they're already doing a lot of work with schools. So they have amazing relationship with the community. They have amazing relationship with the schools already. They were doing textbook support. They were doing policy support through the county government. They were doing a lot of programs around uniforms and mentorship and sanitary pads. So what we did is because we came and did a value addition to what they're already doing. So they have managed to take this program, they call it Dignity in Every Step. We've wholeheartedly. And the work that they do, I think last week we had a day in which they did 2,000 plus pairs in terms of distribution. So the funny thing is, as much as we've been working with them since last year, we still have a high demand. And our hope is, and our plan is, as much as I'm not sharing this with you, is if we can clear all the schools in Busia County by the end of this year. I don't know what magic will happen to make that possible, but that would be great. So at least we can be able to clear, and now we can sort of go back and keep monitoring the impact of the shoes will give us.
What's holding us back from impacting you?
We need more shoes.
More shoes.
We need more shoes.
So the kids are the partnerships are in place.
Partnerships are in
The
place.
kids have been identified.
Yes, the kids have been identified. The sizes have been taken. So we are having a scenario where we sort of what they put now to a new school, because we started this late last year and they collected all the data. So now we're having scenarios before they go to a school, they need to do remeasurement because again, kids' feet grow, right? They have grown. So the kids that were in grade 5 last year are in grade 6 this year. So the sizes have slightly expanded. So now what we're experiencing is before they go to the ground again with last year's data, they have to do remeasurement. So to avoid a scenario where now going by the term, every term to doing remeasurement, we're really hoping that we can be able to clear off giving the shoes to all the kids that have been identified so that at least we can avoid the double. Right. Yes.
I mean, the great thing is our shoes grow. So if a kid has grown, you know, that pair of shoes will still fit. Get them a shoe that fits at the smallest size so that it can grow all 5 sizes and last for years. So I totally hear what you mean where again, we're ready to go, but if we don't get them to the kids quickly enough, then then we've got to redo that process.
We have to do that process because now that process affects the sizes and the quantities that are sent to this year. So if we don't get the and we talked about challenges and we've been experiencing that gap. So you find that they have shoes, but some of them are not the right fit. So we need to, so it's a ripple effect.
Yeah. And there's always, I mean, anyone who is in any sort of business or organization, there's always a bottleneck. Past, sometimes it was the product, it was making the shoe a reality or making needed improvements to the shoe, to the design.
Yes.
Now we have an incredible design and we're continuing to monitor it. We'll always continue to gather feedback and to make improvements where needed with the shoes. But really, like, the shoe is produced, or the shoe is designed. It is in great shape. It's being produced at 20,000 or more pairs per month. That's the target, and the funding is needed in order to keep that happening, keep production going. Because also, this team is in place. We now have this central location, which is important, which means a lot to us. The partnership's in place. The kids are identified. This is the whole cycle of creating this impact. As we wrap up, as we start to wrap up, because again, we talked a little bit at the beginning about the importance of stories and the facts, the figures, the details. These are all important. But I wonder if you do have any, particular story or child or just experience. I know that you've only been doing, this shoe side for a limited amount of time. But I do wonder if there is a specific detail or a specific story that comes to mind from the work you've done so far with the shoes.
Definitely. I think I should plan on writing a book about some of the stories, to be honest. On how we get the stories. So impact for us is important. Yes, we have to monitor what we're doing. We have to monitor the impact it's having.
We don't just go into a community and dump shoes. It's important to partnerships who are doing the work on the ground. 100%. But in addition to that, we do other
things. And we have a system where there are ways that the mechanisms this data means getting opportunities to talk to students. Beneficiaries, to talk to teachers directly, who handle the students, and they tend to have a lot of information. And we also have opportunity of talking to the younger kids who tend to be affected a lot by social and economic issues, but they are very shy to have this one-on-one engagements. So we sort of put them in a focus group setting and have open conversations with them. And the stories that come out of those conversations are extremely, extremely amazing. And I have many stories, but let me talk about one that really struck me in reference to some of the work that we did with Tamira Moja beginning of last month, actually. It's been a month now. So this school deep in Teso South, that's Western Kenya, that's Busia County. The name of the school is St. Patrick's. So I met a young girl and she was wearing some flip-flops, some blue ones. All right. And I got this in 2 different schools. So in one of the questions we ask is, favorite teacher? And they would say, for example, Andrew. And our assumption, or rather my assumption from where I sit, is when I ask you your favorite subject, it should ideally connect to your favorite teacher. But that was not the case. So in 2 scenarios, so in the first scenario, there was a young boy who said the favorite teacher was, for example, teacher X, maybe teacher James, all right? And the favorite subject was integrated science taught by a different teacher. So out of curiosity, I asked them, why is your favorite teacher not the same one teaching your favorite subject? And they said, it's because teacher X, when every morning I come to school and he notices that I've not had dinner, he gives me some money and I'm able to buy mandazi. So mandazi would be like maybe a donut or just a snack. So that at least it can keep them going for the first half of the school before they break out for lunch. And for me, that sort of struck with me. Same scenario in a second school we went to, same conversation. The favorite teacher and the favorite subject, different. I asked why, and the lady was like, you see the shoes I'm wearing, and I have a photo for it, I'll share it with you. You see the shoes I'm wearing? These shoes were bought by teacher Jessica. And she also bought the same pair of shoes for my sister in grade 5. And this lady, I think, was in grade 7, not I think she was in grade 7. And I asked her, what were you wearing before? And she said, I had a pair of shoes, but they were torn on the bottom, and also my sister was the same. So they had shoes, but shoes that were completely worn out. So the teacher just came forward and out of her own pocket just got the lady, the young girl, and the sister a pair of shoes. So that's one of the many scenarios that we sort of encounter, that teachers, with the little they have, they tend to have a lot more impact in these children. Over and above, in one of the schools we went to again last month, I got, I think, one of the most interesting careers. And this young lady said when they grow up, they would like to be a nun doctor. So a nun, of course, we know a nun doctor. Okay. And the reason is a nun is they love God, love to serve God, and they also love chemistry and everything to do with the whole concept of just being a doctor. So they were like, I'll just combine these two and just become a nun doctor. I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. Extremely impressed. So.
Kids, sometimes they throw out
very
interesting, sometimes unrealistic things. That one seems pretty well thought out. And I know that's a question you love to ask. I love the teacher story too, because, and we see this in America too, teachers that typically don't make as much money as other professions, and yet they will use any spare money they have if there is a child that has a need, and to show that not only are they doing that for these kids here, but that a pair of shoes is important enough that is something that she felt like, not only for her student, but her student's sibling. Love that.
Another scenario of another teacher who every student in class, she has a tailor at the local village or town, who every child, I think we went there early this year, and she was telling me by the end of the first term, every child in my class will have a uniform. So she has collaborated with a tailor to be able to make a uniform, at least every child in her class to have a uniform. So that was also impressive. Yeah. A lot of amazing stories. And the beauty of the process and the systems that we have, the impact space, we're able to capture these stories and we're able to share it to everyone on the other side. Right. So at least they can be able to see the impact the stories that are coming out of the work that we are doing, and we are able to share give you all that information, even if you're not
Right.
within the 2-5.
I can share that with all of you. The high level statistics, the data behind how many pairs and in what county and all of that. But then also these individual stories. I mean, last year over 100,000 pairs were distributed. Compare that to the year before, and it was about 45,000 pairs, so more than doubled. And then this year we have big goals again, and we've been off to a good start. And if we can just keep producing those shoes and get them to those kids, we're going to have an incredible year as well. And it's fun to talk about again those high level data points, but maybe even more so it is those individual stories, because 100,000 pairs is 100,000 individual stories of what a pair of shoes means to kids. So thanks for sharing all this. And again, helping people understand over here in Kenya what's happening. Everything from the production that's happening near Mombasa to this kind of central hub and this now first official office here in Nairobi. And then the partnerships that we have scattered throughout the country, but more than anywhere right now in Western Kenya, in Busia County, where the shoes are being distributed. So an entire operation, and not just production, not just distribution, but then also the impact work to make sure that, again, we're not just producing and dumping shoes, but we really are listening and understanding the impact that's being made and how we can continue to improve. In terms of how you all can continue to support, it's really simple. I mean, it continues to be a pretty simple story, a pretty simple ask. Every $10 is funding a pair of shoes, all the way from the production to the logistics to this surveying, setting up these partnerships, actually getting the shoes distributed, and then the impact work that's happening after the fact, and all of those stories and data that we're able to share with you. Every $10 covers a pair. Some of you are giving monthly, covering anywhere from a pair, a few pairs, dozens of pairs. Some of you make a larger one-time annual gift. A number of you are contributing at least 100 pairs a year, puts you in the Founders Club, which is giving you some special updates, some more behind the scenes information. Again, love sharing the background, love sharing all of these details with you. And thank you again so much for being a part of this. Whether or not you're ever able to come here and see this work firsthand, thank you for the support and the opportunity to share some of those details with you doing this. So as we wrap up for today, what keeps you motivated? What excites you for the future?
The potential.
Okay.
Potential we have as an organization, potential of impact that we have as an organization, the potential to build our partner and stakeholder network, not only in Kenya, just across the board. So my energy, my fuel is on the potential. It's just thinking about the potential. Like, we just need to do everything right and do it well and do it like there's no other day. To do it today like there's no tomorrow. Right. So for me, my fuel comes from the potential.
100%. And all the pieces, we said this before, like all the pieces are in place. We've got that incredible shoe. The production is there. The team is in place here. The partnerships are in place. We've identified the kids. We've got this huge goal of distributing 1 million pairs by 2030. It really felt out of reach, I'll be honest with you, a couple years ago. But the way all these pieces have come into place, like the potential is 100% there. Not just 1 million pairs, but millions of pairs. So again, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And again, thank you all. Yes, very good. Yeah. And thank you all again for joining us. Reach out, ask us questions. We'd love to share more. Drop a comment or a question in the comments in the chat here, and we will be excited to get back to you. And again, for many of you, hope that one day you could travel with us and come and see some of this firsthand.
Definitely. Welcome. So anytime you give us a shout, we'll be happy.
There's an official place to come visit.
Exactly. Come have a look, and if you're lucky and we're having a distribution with one of our partners, we'll be happy to have you. Asante.